Hey gang, this is Ryan Cozy with the Chapel at Crosspoint. Just wanted to give you all a couple of updates as to some of the stuff that's going on in the network, a little bit more in depth. Just recently, some cool things that are going on. In particular, in Western New York, one of the things I just wanted to celebrate is Eastern Hills Wesleyan Church, which is a really important church for us in the Western New York area. Pat Jones and his leadership team over at Eastern Hills. I actually just got back this morning from spending the whole morning with them and their senior leadership team going through the spiritual formation and missional behavior survey that we've constructed here in the network. And just as a point of reflection, it was a really great time sitting down with them, talking with them, and also just starting to go through this idea of renovation on a couple of levels. One, going through Dwight's material at the high level of leadership, but also to see them starting to push toward Renovation 101 and equipping their lay leaders, but also in being willing to kind of keep score a different way by going through the outcomes in the spiritual formation survey, and just looking at how those outcomes potentially shape missional behavior in their church. Really a cool thing that happened there. In addition to Eastern Hills, some cool stuff. Centerpoint Church, along with Restoration Church and potentially Renovation Church, all here in Western New York, will be endeavoring to take this survey here in the next couple of weeks. And it's just something that we really wanted to celebrate, something cool that God seems to be doing in and through this area. In addition to that, this weekend I'm actually going to be speaking at Missio Church in Syracuse. Jordan Stinziano and his team over there at the local church in Syracuse. And we're going to be going over through the spiritual formation survey as well for their church and the missional behavior of that church, looking at not just the outcomes and how they're potentially shaping missional behavior, but also looking at other things like the conversion growth of their church versus the transfer growth of their church. And that's something that's really cool to celebrate at Missio, is that God is allowing them to be a part of growing their church at a percentage rate in terms of conversion growth, not just having people transfer in from other churches. And that's something that we're really excited about and can't wait to talk about with their church on Sunday. In addition to Syracuse, there's some other things going on outside of the Western and Central New York area that I just want to point out to you. Destiny Fellowship, which is in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a Christian and Missionary Alliance church in Twinsburg, Ohio. They will be endeavoring to take the spiritual formation survey. In fact, I think they may have just completed it, and they'll be starting to process through the results and sending me that information, of which I look forward to going through that with them and their senior leadership team, and hopefully that will help them as they strategize and look toward how to be more effective in their Jerusalem. In addition to that, not this weekend, but next weekend, I will be headed back out to Los Angeles and working with some of the churches out there. In particular, we'll be looking at Pacific Point Church with John Blue. Their church has recently completed the spiritual formation and missional behavior survey that we created here in the network. And I can't wait to go through that information with them as well. Looking forward to that time with John and his team of elders and staff out there. That will be on the 25th to the 27th of February. In addition to Los Angeles, a couple of things that are shaping up in Fort Myers, Florida, where Summit Church will be taking, for the second year, they'll be kind of taking their missional temperature in terms of the spiritual formation and missional behavior survey. They're going to be taking the one that we've created here within the last 7 months within Renovation Network. And I can't wait to get that information and be looking at it with Todd Bilby and his team down there, and just hopefully seeing some neat results from that survey as it relates to the outcomes and how those outcomes potentially are shaping their missional behavior, which allow us to be present, to give proclamation and sharing our story with those intentional relationships that we're building with unbelievers. When those things happen, we saturate the area with the gospel, and lo and behold, a byproduct of that is that some of those people that we have the opportunity to share with are going to come to know Jesus Christ. And hopefully we can endeavor to lead them in their spiritual formation and development as they come into the body of Jesus Christ. Last thing that I just want to mention, and this is just a praise to God and a cool thing that is happening north of the border here in Toronto. We had a great opportunity the other day to meet with the People's Church of Toronto, which is a church that has a great history in the greater Toronto area. And I would just ask that you would be praying for a team of people there, not just the employees, but also some lay people that have been assembled, as they start thinking through this process of missional behavior and intentionally going after the geography that God has placed them in. Some neat things have really happened here in the last couple of days. And I just want to ask that you would pray for the People's Church of Toronto. We've had an opportunity to talk about the renovation material with them. We spent a day with them yesterday, and it was just a great time. It was just neat to see God starting to work in and through that church and just asking certain questions, many of which are focused around the inception questions of what does God want and what would it look like if God did what He wanted in their area. And so I just would ask that you pray for them. I know that this update's a little bit longer. I look forward to updating you sooner as well. Apologies, but I just have been on the road a lot in the last few days. But God bless you all. We're praying for all of your churches in the network, that God would continue to develop your partnerships and develop your relationships so that the local body of churches can be more and more strategic in the Jerusalem that they find themselves in. God bless you all and have a great day.